Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Kris. Alright, sorry. This video is sponsored by YouBuyWeRush. What does a new Muslim need to know about Tawhid and intentions? The last 5 minutes, he kind of seemed like it was a circular conversation. He would say things, move on, and then you'd come back and repeat them. So, the last 5 minutes kind of threw me off, but this will be about 15-ish minutes. There's a thanks button on the channel. You can donate, and if you do and you request a video, you'll get sponsored by whatever video you request. You can subscribe if you'd like, and nothing else, thumbs up helps. Alright, video.
وإخراج المؤمن من الكافر. Look how Allah guides the disbeliever to belief. Because the disbeliever in reality, now, is dead. His heart is dead because of his disbelief. So Allah guides the disbelievers whom He chooses to believe, having life. وَالطَّائِرُ مِنَ الْبَيْضَةِ. Look how Allah, for example, brings the bird just from an egg. And other than that, وَيُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتِ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. And brings the dead out of the living. Yani the opposite of that which was just mentioned. وَمَنْ يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرِ. وَمَنْ يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرِ. And who arranges every matter? Who arranges all the affairs? فِي الْعَالَمِ الْعُلَوِي وَالسُّفَلِ. In the entire universe. In the heavens and the earth. Who arranges and controls all of this? فَإِنَّكَ إِذَا سَأَلْتُمْ عَنْ ذَلِكَ. If you were to ask them, O Muhammad, about all of these affairs that were just mentioned, فَسَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهِ. They would say Allah. They would acknowledge and they would say Allah. لأنهم يعترفون بجميع ذلك. They affirm all of this. وأن الله لا شريك له في شيء من ذلك من المذكورات. They acknowledge all of that. And that Allah has no partner in all of what was mentioned. فَقُلْ. So you say to them, O Muhammad, after they acknowledge all of this, and it's clear that they acknowledge all of these matters, you say to them, إِلْزَامٍ بِالْحُجَّةِ. To compel them with what they already acknowledge. أَفَلَا تَتَّقُونَ. Will you then not fear Allah? If you acknowledge all of this, will you then not fear Allah? Meaning what? تُخْلِصُونَ لَهُ الْعِبَادَ وَحْدَهُ. Make all your worship sincerely for Him alone, without any partners. وَتَخْلَعُونَ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِهِ مِنَ الْأَنْدَادِ وَالْأَوْثَانِ. And leave off everything that you worship besides Him. And that you leave everything off that you worship besides Allah, the one that you already affirmed that does all those actions that preceded. Now, so again, this verse shows you that the disbelievers, they affirmed Allah's actions as rububiyyah. And they knew that He had no partner in those matters, but even with this, they turned acts of worship, such as seeking blessings and supplication and prayer, and other than that, to other than Allah. They directed them towards saints, and righteous men, and pious people, even women, or stones, or trees, or other false deities, believing they could bring benefit to them, or intercede for them with Allah.
He mentioned angels. Was there a particular angel that was the word isn't not voted on, prayed to? Wow, what is wrong with me? Yeah, was there an angel they all voted on? You know, what does that mean? Which angel in particular? This is just strictly my own curiosity, or was it just angels in general that they would pray to? Just curious.
So these were some of the false beliefs that Allah sent His messengers to eliminate. These were some of the false beliefs that Allah sent His messengers to eliminate. Because all of that constitutes setting up rivals and equals and partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so just like this, just like we just mentioned, if you ask the majority of the disbelievers, anybody you encounter just walking down the street, who created them? Or who sends down the rain? Or who gives life and decrees death? Then their response will be who? God. They will say God. But at the same time, they direct acts of worship and devotion to other than God alone. They direct it to the creation, such as the prophets, or the pious, or the righteous, or the pious. Those who they themselves are created. Those who they themselves are provided for. And they sleep and they drink and they use the bathroom. So a principle is, ikhwani wa akhawati, my dear brothers and sisters, anyone or anything that is needy, eats, drinks, sleeps, cries, happy at some times, sad at other times, then they are not suitable to be a deity worthy of all worship and devotion. It is not possible that they be suitable to be the deity worthy of all worship and devotion. But rather the deity worthy of all worship and devotion is Allah alone subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who does those actions that we just mentioned in the ayah. The one not in need of food. The one not in need of drink. The one not in need of sleep. One not in need of using the bathroom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-Ghani al-Hamid, the self-sufficient, worthy of all praise. So the point is here is one does not enter into Islam by merely affirming Allah's rububiyyah, His lordship. But along with that, along with affirming Allah's actions, His lordship, they must single out Allah with all acts of worship, because He is the only one deserving of such devotion and sincerity. Why is this? Go back to rububiyyah. Because He is the sole creator. He's the one who gave you life. He's the one that gave you, he's the one that decreed death. And He's the one that will raise you back up again. He's the one who controls the heavens and the earth and everything in between it. He's the one who provides for you the water that you drink, the food that you eat. So if it's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that can do these matters and no one from the creation can do them, this shows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the only one deserving of all worship. And we find this in the Quran in many places. And this is what we're getting to here. That Tawhid al-Rububiyyah, Allah has made it an argument, because the disbelievers, they already affirm it, to compel them to affirm this next type of Tawheed, which is Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. Naam. So, with that, we'll get to the second type. The second type of Tawheed is Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. Some say Tawheed al-Ibadah. Whether you
So the first one, I already forgot the name of it, but the first one in a nutshell is basically that wow, how do I say? Hey, stop fighting me, you little punk. You little punk. What was the first one? What was the first one? What was the first one? First one in a nutshell was, hey, would you want to get down? You're going to kick me? I'll kick you too, you little punk. I'll kick you too, you little punk. How's that, huh? How's that, little punk? So the first one, I want to make sure I'm understanding it, is basically there's a lot of things he said there. So to me, the first one is basically the acknowledgement of the one true God and accepting that, not praying to the others, but believing in the one. Is that correct in a nutshell? That's kind of what I took from it. So if I'm wrong, then I just listened to him talk and nothing sunk in.
Say this or that, لا بأس, there's no problem. Tawhid al-uluhiyya or Tawhid al-ibadah. The Tawhid of worship. And this is to have belief that Allah is the only one worshipped in truth.
So the first one could have been accepting that there is only one God, not all these others, these angels and all this other stuff. And this one is kind of the praying to. I'm having a bad memory day, I think.
And that he has no partners in that.
Yes.
And that's why we say, when we say the meaning of La ilaha illallah, we're going to get to that, inshallah, in a few chapters. La ma'buda bihaqqin illallah. There's no deity worthy of worship in truth except Allah. Because many deities are worshipped. People worship saints. People worship pious men. People worship trees, stones. People worship numerous things. None of those things have the right to be worshipped. All of those things are deficient, created, or are either in need themselves. So no one has the right to be worshipped in truth except Allah. So this is Tawhid al-uluhiyya, belief that Allah is the only one worshipped in truth and that he has no partners in that. Or one can say it is that the servants single out Allah with their actions, meaning we single out Allah with our actions, such as dua. When we supplicate, we only supplicate to Allah alone, not to anyone from mankind or the creation or that which is created, or nadhr, when making a vow, or when slaughtering, or as it relates to fear, or as it relates to placing our trust and reliance, tawakkul, and every other type of worship that Allah commanded with, it must be directed to Allah alone. So all acts of worship must be directed to Allah alone. And this is the type of tawheed that the messengers came with. And the reason why Allah sent down the books of revelation. So look, understand this. The messengers, they didn't come to teach the people Tawhid al-Rububiyyah. Why? Because it's something innate within the people already. It's something innate within the people. It's something people have within them from their natural disposition. Tawhid al-Rububiyyah. So, the messenger, they were sent. And the reason the messengers were sent, and the reason why the books were revealed, is to bring the people back to the worship of Allah alone, the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the creation. Now, so this is the type of tawheed that the messengers came with, and the reason why Allah sent down the books of revelation. So that all worship be directed sincerely and solely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's look at some of the evidences for this. Allah said, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. Affirmation and negation in this ayah. The same meaning of La ilaha illallah. That which you say when you pronounce the shahada. Worship Allah. Worship Allah. Wa'budullah, so affirmation. وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا, and join none in partners along with him. Meaning nothing. This is shay'an, indefinite. In the context of being in the context of negation, shay'an is, as far as the Arabic language, this is indefinite. In the Arabic, as it relates to the Arabic language, and it's in the context of negation. So this shows generality, meaning enjoying nothing in partners along with Allah, no matter what it may be. Worship Allah. and join none in partners along with him. And likewise Allah said, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا نُوحِي إِلَيْهِ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنَا فَاعْبُدُونِ. And we sent not before you any messenger, except that we revealed to him that there is no deity in truth except me, so worship me. Now, so this is the call of all the prophets and messengers. Look at the next ayah. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. And we certainly sent to every nation a messenger, saying, worship Allah and avoid the false deities, the Tawhid. And we certainly sent to every nation a messenger, saying, worship Allah and avoid the false deities. So this type of Tawheed, this second type, Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, is where the disputes between the messengers and their nations occurred. It wasn't regarding Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. As the majority of mankind, they already recognize this, that the Creator is one in his actions. However, many fail to single him out with all acts of worship. And for this reason, the scholars, they give so much importance to Tawheed before anything else, in their writings or in their lectures and their admonitions, etc. Why? Because number one, this is why Allah created the creation. And we learned this in the introduction. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So Allah mentions, and I have not created jinn or mankind except to worship me. Meaning what? That Allah be singled out in worship. This is what is meant. That Allah be singled out in worship, which is Tawheed. So this is why Allah created the creation. Likewise, as we just seen in these ayat, it was the first call of all the prophets and messengers to their people. It was a call to correct the belief system, the aqeedah, what we spoke about last week. That foundation that every Muslim must have in order to benefit from their Islam and benefit from their actions and to grow in their Islam. They must have that firm foundation, the aqeedah. So this is what the prophets and messengers came with, to correct the belief system, the aqeedah, and to call to Tawheed, to singling Allah out with all worship, and to purify it from all those false beliefs that have crept into it, from giving equals and partners to Allah, from superstitions, and everything else that taints the purity of Tawheed. So dear brothers and sisters, Tawheed and learning it is the very, very first thing that will rectify individuals, that will rectify societies, that will rectify countries.
I'm going to stop it there. How many, and I know I've heard it before, how many prophets were sent to nations? Well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't ask that one because that's... My question was going to be, how many prophets were sent to nations, and we don't know the names of those prophets because, like early America, North America, it would have been the Native Americans here. We don't know who that prophet would have been. So I guess in a way we don't know if that prophet was killed, or more than likely if Islam wasn't picked up, then more than likely they either just didn't believe him, or over time they just kind of faded out. So and I forget the number, but I've been told how many, not prophets, were prophets, and there was prophets and messengers, and the messengers would have been the ones who would have, so I guess it was like 125,000 or 120,000 messengers, was it? I don't even remember the numbers anymore. I do apologize. It was a lot. Yeah, I'm just trying to. And do we know how long of a period they were sent out? I mean, if Muhammad was the last, that was in 600. But that doesn't say that there couldn't have been another one at the same time, correct? Well, because Jesus would have been 600 years before. And I mean, if you're sending them out every 600 years, that's a... And there's just not enough time. So my guess is there could have been one 10 years before Muhammad in China and didn't catch on. And that guy, maybe that guy dies, or he's killed. And I don't mean guy. It could have been woman. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying right now. I don't know what I'm asking. If you understand what I'm asking, then it's great, because I don't know if I'm saying it properly. I'm not putting out goods, so I apologize for that. So I'm going to end it here, and we will be back with part 8, the finale. And it's going to be big. It's going to be fireworks and everything. So be ready. All right? Till then, have a good day, have a good night.